The stars above the planet Zephora shone brighter than any sky Alex Carter had ever seen. From the observation deck of the alien research station, the view was breathtaking. Purple clouds swirled across the horizon, and the twin moons cast pale reflections on the crystal lakes below. Alex, a seasoned human captain, had seen many wonders in his life, but nothing prepared him for the beauty of this world. He adjusted his jacket and glanced at the datapad in his hands. The team of human scientists he worked with had just arrived, bringing the latest technology to study the alien planet's unique biology. Yet, despite all the equipment and calculations, Alex knew the real challenge would come from the alien people themselves. Among them, the most curious and intimidating was Princess Lyra. Lyra was not just royalty, she was a living genius. Her bright teal eyes seemed to see everything at once, and her silver hair, shimmering like starlight, gave her a presence that few could ignore. She had spent years studying other species in her galaxy, yet humans remained a mystery. Today, that mystery would be tested. The discussion had begun as a simple debate among her advisors. Humans are limited, one of them said. They cannot reproduce year-round. Their bodies require specific seasons and conditions. Unlike our species, they are fragile. Lyra had listened silently, a small smile playing on her lips. "Fragile, you say?" she murmured. Her voice carried authority that silenced the room instantly. "I wonder if your claims are accurate. Captain Alex, you are human, are you not?" Alex straightened, surprised by the sudden attention. "Yes, Your Highness," he said, bowing slightly. Lyra leaned forward on the crystalline table. "Then tell me," she said, her tone challenging, "is it true that humans cannot breed year-round?" Alex felt a mix of surprise and amusement. He had expected scientific curiosity, not a direct challenge. He took a moment before answering. "Your Highness, humans are adaptable. We can reproduce under a wide range of conditions, though there are factors that affect fertility, like health, age, and environment. But we are not bound to strict seasons like some species. Our biology is flexible." The princess's eyes narrowed. "Flexible? That is not enough. If you claim this, prove it. Show me the truth of human adaptability." A hush fell over the room. Her advisors exchanged uneasy glances. None had expected Lyra to demand proof. To them, humans were fragile beings, too simple to understand the complexity of the galaxy. But now their assumptions were about to be tested. Alex took a deep breath. "Your Highness, I am willing to demonstrate, but it must be done carefully and scientifically. We cannot rush nature. It requires study, observation, and respect." Lyra's smile widened, a mixture of amusement and intrigue. "Very well, Captain. I will allow your experiment, but it will take place here under my supervision. Any failure and your claims will be dismissed." Alex nodded. He could see the challenge in her eyes, but also the curiosity. This was more than science. It was a test of human ingenuity, courage, and honesty. He glanced at his team, who had already begun preparing equipment for the research. Advanced scanners, biological monitors, and alien labs were ready, and the humans set to work with precision. As the preparations began, Lyra walked alongside Alex. She was quiet at first, observing his movements. "Humans are interesting," she said softly. "You carry confidence without arrogance, and you speak with calm even under pressure. Few species manage that," Alex smiled. "Thank you, Your Highness. We adapt because we must. Our history is full of challenges that required thinking, courage, and teamwork." Lyra raised an eyebrow. "Do you truly believe you can teach me something about your species that my scholars cannot?" Alex chuckled. "I believe I can show you something that goes beyond theory. Humans are not just biology. We are spirit, will, and determination. That is something no textbook can fully explain." The first day of the study was spent in observation and discussion. Alex explained human reproductive biology in simple terms, highlighting how humans could reproduce in varied environments, unlike her species, which had very strict seasonal limits. He spoke of cycles, fertility windows, and adaptability, using diagrams and holographic projections. Lyra listened intently, but skepticism lingered in her gaze. "Your words are clear, Captain, but I have seen many species exaggerate their abilities. I will believe only what I witness myself." Alex nodded. He expected as much. "Then we will proceed with controlled observations," he said. "We will not rush, but we will gather evidence over time. I promise you will see the truth." The team began creating controlled environments that simulated various planetary conditions: temperature, light cycles, and diet changes. Alex guided the process, showing the aliens how humans could remain healthy and fertile across these variations. While the experiments were technical, the human team's interactions with Lyra were unexpectedly personal. She asked about human culture, family life, and even stories of bravery. Alex shared simple tales from Earth, stories of humans facing impossible odds, surviving harsh conditions, and protecting one another. Lyra listened, fascinated by the depth and resilience of the species she had once considered fragile. By the second day, a small bond began forming. Lyra's curiosity became more than scientific. It was personal. She admired the way Alex balanced confidence with respect, knowledge with humility, yet she remained determined to test his claims fully. During a break, she challenged him again. "Captain Alex, suppose a crisis arises, an unexpected threat like a natural disaster. Would humans still thrive and reproduce under such conditions?" Alex paused. "Your Highness, humans are not perfect, but we adapt. When faced with danger, we do not surrender. We find solutions, protect each other, and continue to survive. That is how we endure." Lyra's lips curved in a thoughtful smile. "Perhaps your species has more strength than I expected." "Very well. Let us continue. Show me this resilience in practice." The following days were filled with careful study. Alex demonstrated how humans maintained health across different climates, how nutrition and rest affected reproductive cycles, and how stress could be managed. Each demonstration was precise, scientific, and ethical. Lyra watched every detail, noting the flexibility of the human body and the determination of the human mind. One evening, as the twin moons rose over Xiphora, Lyra approached Alex privately. "You are unlike any human I expected," she said. "You speak not only with facts, but with confidence and courage. It intrigues me. Can one species truly be this adaptable?" Alex looked at the glowing moons, considering his words. "Your Highness, adaptability is not just biology. It is mindset, courage, and unity. Humans endure because we must. Our spirit drives us to survive, to thrive, and to overcome. That is something even your most advanced scholars may not fully grasp." Lyra studied him in silence, the weight of her challenge hanging between them. She realized that this was more than a scientific test. It was a glimpse into the essence of humanity itself. The first part of the experiment had proven one thing: humans were not what she had been told. They were clever, brave, and resilient. Alex had not only explained the science, but had demonstrated the very qualities that made his species extraordinary. As the night deepened, Alex returned to his quarters, thinking about the days ahead. The real test was yet to come, a demonstration that would leave no room for doubt. But for the first time, he sensed that Lyra's challenge was more than scientific curiosity. It was respect, curiosity, and perhaps even admiration. Lyra, meanwhile, stood on the observation deck, gazing at the human captain below. She had expected simplicity, limitation, and fragility. Instead, she saw strength, intelligence, and confidence. A thought crossed her mind, unspoken but powerful. Perhaps humans were more remarkable than anyone in her galaxy had realized. Tomorrow, the true test would begin. The controlled experiment would move beyond theory, and the full range of human adaptability would be revealed. For now, though, the first part of their story had ended with curiosity, respect, and a growing bond between species that had once seemed so different. The stars over Xiphora continued to shine, reflecting the promise of discovery, the challenge of proof, and the spark of understanding between two very different worlds. The morning light on Xiphora cast a soft glow across the crystalline laboratories, highlighting the shimmering surfaces of alien machinery. Alex Carter arrived early, as always, ready to continue the demonstration for Princess Lyra. The previous days had proven that humans were more adaptable than the aliens expected. But the real test, the controlled experiment, was yet to begin. Lyra entered the lab with her usual poise, her silver hair catching the morning light. Her teal eyes scanned the room, noting the organized chaos of human and alien scientists preparing for the next stage. "Captain Alex," she began, her tone both authoritative and curious. "Today I expect more than explanations. I want to see humans in action, demonstrating the resilience you claim." Alex smiled calmly. "Your Highness, we will proceed carefully. I will demonstrate adaptability through observation and controlled activity, while maintaining safety for all involved." The first task was setting up environments that simulated different planetary conditions. Zyphora's climate was unusual. Shifting temperatures, low oxygen zones, and periods of extreme sunlight made it difficult for most species. Humans, however, had survived and thrived on countless planets. Alex explained how each change could affect health and reproduction, noting that humans were naturally flexible. Lyra watched closely as Alex guided his team through the preparations. Temperature variations affect sperm count and egg viability, he said, pointing to a holographic diagram. Nutrition, rest, and hydration play critical roles. But humans are capable of adjusting their bodies to a wide range of conditions. That is why our species can reproduce year-round, unlike yours. One of her advisors whispered to her, "Princess, the human speaks with confidence, but are they truly capable?" Lyra ignored him, her curiosity overpowering doubt. She had decided that words alone were not enough. Proof was required. The team began the experiment by monitoring volunteers under different simulated conditions. Alex carefully explained each step. "We will adjust temperature, humidity, and light cycles gradually," he said. "All observations are ethical, controlled, and safe. We aim to show adaptability, not recklessness." Lyra followed every movement, taking notes in her alien script. She asked questions that challenged Alex to think on his feet. "Captain, what if a human faces extreme stress during these conditions? Can they still adapt?" Alex nodded. "Stress affects many species, Your Highness, but humans have unique coping mechanisms. We use reasoning, teamwork, and problem-solving to overcome challenges. Physical and mental resilience are intertwined. Adaptation is not just biology, it is also intelligence and willpower." As the day progressed, the controlled environments were put to the test. Volunteers adjusted to varying conditions, demonstrating flexibility that even the alien scientists found impressive. Lyra observed in silence, occasionally raising an eyebrow in surprise. Alex explained each result, showing how humans maintained fertility indicators, energy levels, and overall health despite the artificial stressors. During a break, Lyra approached Alex privately. "You speak of adaptability, courage, and intelligence," she said. "I see the science, but there is more to your species, isn't there? Something beyond numbers and diagrams." Alex paused, considering how much to reveal. "Your Highness, humans endure because we must. Every generation faces challenges, natural disasters, enemies, environmental changes. We learn, adapt, and survive. Flexibility is part of our survival instinct, and it extends to reproduction. Our biology works alongside our spirit." Lyra's eyes gleamed with interest. "Spirit, you mean determination and will?" "Yes," Alex replied. "Adaptation is not just physical. It is mental, emotional, and social. Humans support one another, think creatively, and never surrender easily. That combination allows us to survive in situations that would overwhelm other species." The conversation sparked a change in Lyra. She had entered the experiment, expecting a simple demonstration of biology. Instead, she was witnessing the human capacity for resilience in its entirety. It was as if Alex represented not just science, but the essence of his species. By afternoon, the experiment moved to a more dynamic phase. Alex introduced physical challenges, simulated environmental shifts requiring the volunteers to adjust their diet, activity levels, and schedules. Some conditions mirrored harsh planets humans had previously explored. Alien scientists watched as the human volunteers adapted quickly, maintaining health markers and reproductive indicators. Lyra could not hide her astonishment. "I underestimated humans," she admitted softly. "They adjust to so much far beyond what my advisors claimed." Alex's calm smile reflected both pride and humility. "Your Highness, humans are capable because we are tested. We endure challenges that force adaptation. That is why we can survive year-round in any environment." An unexpected twist arrived when an equipment malfunction caused a sudden temperature drop in one of the simulation chambers. Panic rose among the alien team, but Alex acted quickly. Using limited resources, he stabilized the system, preventing harm to the volunteers. Lyra watched closely, impressed by the humans' quick thinking under pressure. "Captain, your species does not panic like others," she remarked. "You solve problems as they arise," Alex nodded. "Adaptation is not just natural, it is practiced. Humans think, learn, and act. That is our strength." By evening, the experiment had produced clear results. Humans maintained biological functions across varied conditions, proving adaptability. Lyra reviewed the data herself, her skepticism slowly giving way to respect. She turned to Alex. You have proven part of your claim, Captain. Humans can adapt biologically, but there is still the question of consistency. Can this endurance continue over time without faltering? Alex's eyes met hers. Consistency comes from both biology and lifestyle, Your Highness. Humans learn, support one another, and adjust behavior to maintain health. Our adaptability is not momentary, it is ongoing across generations. Lyra was silent for a moment, considering his words. She realized this experiment was no longer about biology alone. It was about understanding the resilience, ingenuity, and spirit of an entire species. Humans had survived countless challenges, not because they were invincible, but because they were clever, determined, and cooperative. As night fell on Zephora, Alex and Lyra stepped onto the observation deck. The twin moons reflected on the crystal lakes below, casting a serene light across the landscape. You have shown me much today, Lyra said, her voice softer than before. Not just about your species' biology, but about your spirit, your courage, and your mind. It is impressive, Alex looked at her calmly. Your Highness, humans endure because we must. Challenges do not break us, they strengthen us. We adapt, not because we are perfect, but because we are determined. Lyra's eyes lingered on him, a spark of admiration lighting her features. She had expected a simple demonstration of reproductive biology. Instead, she had witnessed leadership, quick thinking, and a glimpse of human determination. The first part of the controlled experiment had been successful, but Alex knew the next phase would be even more challenging. It would require not only observation but real-world application, showing humans' adaptability in situations that even the aliens considered extreme. Lyra, meanwhile, returned to her chambers, her mind racing. She had entered this experiment expecting to confirm her species' assumptions about humans. Instead, she had discovered something unexpected: strength, courage, and intelligence that surpassed what she had imagined. She realized that the truth about humans was far more complex and remarkable than she had been told. Tomorrow would bring the real test, a demonstration that could leave no doubt about human adaptability. For now, the experiment had accomplished its first goal, capturing the attention, curiosity, and respect of an alien princess who once doubted the potential of a single human species. The stars over Zephora shone as witnesses to this unfolding story, reflecting the promise of discovery, the thrill of challenges, and the spark of understanding between two very different worlds. Alex returned to his quarters, reviewing the data and preparing for the next phase. He knew that proving humans could adapt year-round was not just about science. It was about showing the resilience, intelligence, and spirit that made his species extraordinary. As he drifted to sleep under Zephora's twin moons, he felt a quiet confidence. The experiment was progressing, the princess's skepticism was waning, and the real proof was about to begin. Tomorrow would reveal even more, and humans would show that their adaptability was not just a claim but a truth. The next morning, Zephora's skies were a swirl of violet and gold, signaling the start of another day in the alien research station. Alex Carter stepped onto the observation deck, feeling the familiar thrill of anticipation. Today marked the beginning of the real-world phase of the experiment, a chance to demonstrate not just theory, but human adaptability in action. Princess Lyra waited for him, standing tall and poised, her silver hair catching the light of Zephora's twin suns. Her teal eyes sparkled with curiosity and expectation. "Captain Alex," she said, her voice steady, "today words and diagrams are not enough. I want to see humans demonstrate their resilience in unpredictable conditions. Can you do this?" Alex nodded. "Your Highness, humans survive and thrive in difficult environments every day. Today, you will see that adaptability is not just a claim, it is a practice." Lyra gestured to a wide field outside the station, where several alien vehicles and environmental simulators had been arranged. "The conditions will be harsh," she said. "You must prove that your species can maintain performance under stress." The experiment began with a series of controlled challenges. Volunteers were placed in environments with fluctuating temperatures, uneven terrain, and simulated atmospheric disturbances. Alex led them through exercises to monitor their physical endurance, problem-solving skills, and mental focus. "This is not merely about surviving the environment," Alex explained to Lyra as they watched the volunteers navigate a sudden windstorm. It is about maintaining health, energy, and reproductive viability despite challenges. Humans are capable of adjusting nutrition, activity, and rest to stay strong. Lyra observed with keen interest, taking notes in her alien script. She had expected some flexibility, but the results exceeded her expectations. Even under harsh simulated conditions, the human volunteers maintained balance, stamina, and coordination. Alex's explanations highlighted how humans' adaptability extended beyond biology into mental strategy and teamwork. During a particularly intense simulation, the wind machines in one section of the field suddenly malfunctioned, creating chaotic gusts that threatened to knock over equipment. Panic flickered among the alien assistants, but Alex stepped forward confidently. "Everyone stay calm," he commanded. "We can stabilize this." Using a combination of quick thinking and improvisation, Alex redirected volunteers to reinforce barriers and adjusted the machines manually. Within minutes, the environment was stabilized and the volunteers were safe. Lyra watched, astonished. "You do not panic under pressure," she said, her voice tinged with admiration. "You find solutions." Alex gave a small smile. "Adaptation is not just instinct. It is planning, learning, and acting decisively. Humans face challenges constantly, Your Highness. We survive because we think, not just because we endure." As the day progressed, the experiments grew more complex. Volunteers were given tasks requiring memory, strategy, and coordination while navigating unstable environments. Alien scientists took readings noting physiological responses, heart rate, energy levels, and fertility indicators. Alex explained how humans maintained efficiency even under combined physical and mental stress. Lyra's skepticism began to fade. She had once believed humans were fragile and limited. Now she saw endurance, clever problem-solving, and determination in action. She realized that the resilience of humans was not merely about survival. It was about thriving under conditions that many species would consider impossible. During a break, Lyra approached Alex privately. "Captain," she said, her tone thoughtful, "I have seen much today. Humans survive, yes, but what drives them? What makes them endure challenges that would overwhelm others?" Alex leaned against a railing, looking out over the purple horizon. "Your Highness, humans endure because we care. Not just for ourselves, but for each other. Challenges test not only our bodies, but our bonds, our intelligence, and our will. We adapt because survival alone is not enough. We want to thrive, to protect, and to achieve." Lyra considered this in silence. She had observed courage in many species, but humans combined intelligence, emotion, and determination in ways she had not imagined. "It is more than biology, then," she said softly. "It is spirit." "Yes," Alex replied. "Our biology supports the spirit, and the spirit drives the biology. That is why humans can reproduce year-round, Your Highness. Our bodies are flexible, yes, but it is our mindset, cooperation, and determination that allow us to thrive in all conditions." The afternoon brought an unexpected challenge. A sudden electrical storm erupted, sending sparks and energy surges through the experimental fields. Alien technicians struggled to stabilize the equipment. Alex immediately assessed the situation, taking charge with calm authority. "Redirect power here," he instructed, pointing to vulnerable circuits. "Move volunteers to the central safe zone. Keep the environment under observation and maintain calm." His directions were precise and clear, and the volunteers followed quickly. Within minutes, the storm's effects were mitigated, and the experiments could continue safely. Lyra watched, impressed not only by his knowledge but by his composure under extreme pressure. "You handle crises with remarkable skill," she said, her admiration evident. "Few species could act so quickly and effectively." Alex shrugged modestly. "Experience teaches humans to adapt. We face danger often, and we learn to respond. That is part of our survival." As the storm subsided, Alex returned to the volunteers, guiding them through the final tests of the day. The challenges were designed to measure consistency, how well humans could maintain health, focus, and resilience over time. The results were clear. Humans endured without faltering. Lyra reviewed the data personally. The readings were undeniable. Humans maintained reproductive and physiological health even under extended stress and environmental shifts. She realized that the experiment had accomplished more than proving a single point of biology. It had revealed the full scope of human adaptability, combining body, mind, and spirit. By evening, the experimental field was calm again. The twin moons rose over Zephora, casting silvery light across the landscape. Alex and Lyra stood side by side on the observation deck surveying the results. "You have proven much today, Captain Alex," Lyra said, her voice softer than before. "Humans are not fragile. They endure, adapt, and thrive." "I underestimated your species," Alex smiled. "Your Highness, humans are capable because we must be. Our challenges do not break us, they teach us, strengthen us, and show what we can achieve." Lyra nodded thoughtfully. "I see that now. It is not only biology, but courage, intelligence, and determination. These qualities, they define humans more than any physical trait. A quiet understanding passed between them." Lyra realized that her challenge was no longer merely about proving a scientific fact. It had become a lesson in respect and insight. Humans were extraordinary, not just in biology but in spirit. Alex, too, felt a sense of accomplishment. The experiment had shown the truth of his species, and he had done so ethically, safely, and convincingly. He had demonstrated that human adaptability was not a claim, it was reality. As night deepened on Zephora, Lyra returned to her chambers, her mind alive with reflection. The experiment had challenged her assumptions, and she had learned something unexpected. Humans were far more resilient, clever, and capable than her scholars had claimed. Alex stayed on the observation deck gazing at the stars. He knew the experiment was far from over, but the first major demonstration had succeeded. He had shown the adaptability, courage, and spirit of his species in a way that could not be denied. Tomorrow, the next phase would begin, one that would test human adaptability even further, requiring long-term endurance, problem-solving, and cooperation under conditions more extreme than any previously simulated. The real challenge was coming, and humans would have to prove not just survival, but excellence. For now, though, the day ended with a sense of accomplishment, mutual respect, and a growing connection between two very different species. The experiment had moved beyond science into understanding, trust, and admiration. The twin moons reflected on the crystal lakes below, casting light on the research station, the volunteers, and the humans who had proven their resilience. The stars over Zephora watched silently, witnesses to a story of discovery, adaptability, and the spark of understanding between two worlds. Alex finally returned to his quarters, reviewing the data and preparing for tomorrow's challenges. He understood that proving humans could adapt year-round required not only biological demonstration, but a display of endurance, intelligence, and unity. Humans were capable, and he was determined to show it fully. As he settled to rest, the thought crossed his mind that perhaps this experiment was not only a test for humans, it was a chance for the princess and her people to learn something extraordinary about the species they had once underestimated. The story was only beginning. But one thing was already clear. Humans were adaptable, resilient, and remarkable, and Zephora was about to see it firsthand. The sun rose over Zephora, casting long golden shadows across the research station. Today was unlike any other. Princess Lyra had designed the final stage of the experiment to test humans under extreme and unpredictable conditions. The previous days had already demonstrated adaptability and resilience. But now Alex Carter would face challenges that even the aliens considered nearly impossible. Lyra met him on the observation deck, her expression serious. "Captain Alex," she said, her tone sharp but curious, "today will determine if humans truly possess the endurance and intelligence you claim. The environments will change suddenly. Your responses must be quick, precise, and effective. Are you ready?" Alex straightened, feeling the familiar thrill of anticipation. "Your Highness, humans thrive under challenge. I am ready to demonstrate everything we can do." The first task involved a simulated storm in the central field. Alien machines generated high winds, sudden temperature shifts, and sporadic energy surges. The volunteers, guided by Alex, had to maintain balance, protect sensitive equipment, and continue the observation tasks despite the chaos. As the storm began, some alien assistants panicked, struggling to adjust the machinery. Alex took immediate control. "Move all volunteers to safe zones," he commanded. "Secure the equipment and remain calm. We will stabilize the environment." With steady precision, Alex coordinated the team. He demonstrated not only physical agility, but also strategic thinking, anticipating the storm's fluctuations and redirecting resources efficiently. The volunteers followed his instructions flawlessly, and within minutes the chaotic storm was under control. Lyra watched from above, amazed. The humans do not falter under sudden stress, she remarked to her advisors. Their minds and bodies respond in perfect coordination. Alex explained, Your Highness, humans are trained to assess risks quickly and adapt. Our survival depends on observation, decision-making, and teamwork. That is how we maintain performance even under extreme conditions. After the storm subsided, the next challenge began. Volunteers were placed in a rugged terrain with uneven surfaces, deep valleys, and narrow passages. The terrain shifted periodically, simulating a quake-prone region of the planet. Your task is to navigate this terrain, maintain physical performance, and monitor reproductive and physiological health, Alex instructed. Adaptability is not just about surviving. It is about thriving despite obstacles. The volunteers moved carefully but efficiently, adjusting to sudden drops, obstacles, and simulated aftershocks. Alex guided them, pointing out hazards, encouraging teamwork, and explaining how mental focus supported physical endurance. Lyra followed closely, intrigued. She noticed that humans were not only enduring but thinking strategically, using foresight, communication, and problem-solving. She realized that what she had previously considered biology alone was only a part of the story. Humans combined body, mind, and spirit seamlessly. During the navigation, an unexpected obstacle emerged. A section of the terrain collapsed, leaving a volunteer stranded on a narrow ledge. Alien assistants froze, unsure of how to respond. Alex moved swiftly. Use the support cables, he instructed, demonstrating how to secure the volunteer and guide them to safety. Maintain calm, communicate clearly, and act decisively. The team followed his lead, rescuing the volunteer efficiently. Lyra's eyes widened. Remarkable, she whispered. Not only do humans adapt, but they rescue and protect without hesitation. Alex nodded. Adaptability is meaningless without care for others. Humans survive, but we also protect one another. Cooperation is as important as physical ability. After the terrain challenge, the experiment shifted to long-duration endurance tests. Volunteers were exposed to controlled fluctuations in temperature, oxygen levels, and energy availability over several hours. They performed tasks requiring problem-solving, teamwork, and mental focus while maintaining physical performance. Lyra observed carefully, taking notes. She noticed that humans were not only adjusting biologically, but were also innovating, creating strategies to maintain energy, solve problems, and ensure safety. Alex explained that humans' unique combination of intelligence, resilience, and cooperation allowed them to sustain performance even under prolonged stress. As the hours passed, a new challenge arose, a simulated energy failure in the station's equipment. Lights flickered, monitors shut down, and communication systems faltered. Alien assistants began panicking, unsure how to proceed. Alex acted immediately. Stay calm. Prioritize essential systems. Volunteers, gather data manually. We will stabilize the station using available resources. Using both human ingenuity and the alien technology at hand, Alex rerouted power, repaired key systems, and maintained communication with the volunteers. Within an hour, the station was fully operational again and all data had been secured. Lyra was stunned. Captain Alex, your species handles emergencies with unmatched efficiency, she said. You adapt instantly without panic and ensure success. How is this possible? Alex smiled calmly. Experience teaches humans to anticipate and respond. We learn from challenges and apply knowledge quickly. Adaptation is not random, it is trained, practiced, and applied. That is how humans thrive under extreme conditions. The final stage of the day involved a collaborative problem-solving task. Volunteers were asked to repair a simulated life support system while managing environmental hazards. The task required teamwork, critical thinking, and precise action. Alex coordinated the volunteers efficiently, assigning roles, guiding procedures, and ensuring safety. The team worked together seamlessly, overcoming obstacles, solving technical problems, and restoring the system in record time. Lyra's eyes sparkled with admiration. This is more than survival, she said softly. This is ingenuity, courage, and intelligence combined. Humans are extraordinary. Alex looked at her, his tone respectful. Your Highness, humans endure because we must, but we thrive because we apply our intelligence, our teamwork, and our will. Adaptation is not just a trait. It is a way of life. As evening fell on Zephora, The twin moons reflected across the crystalline landscape. Lyra and Alex stood side by side on the observation deck, surveying the results. The experiment had proven the humans' adaptability beyond doubt, not only in biology but in problem solving. Resilience and teamwork. You have exceeded all expectations. Captain Alex, Lyra said, her voice filled with respect. Humans are not fragile. They endure, adapt, and succeed under conditions that would challenge even the most advanced species. I underestimated your species, Alex nodded. Your Highness, humans are capable because we face challenges constantly. We learn, we adapt, and we survive. That is why we can thrive year-round, even under conditions others find impossible. Lyra studied him for a moment, realizing the depth of what she had witnessed. The experiment was no longer just about biology. It was a lesson in courage, intelligence, and spirit. Humans were not only capable, they were extraordinary. As night deepened on Zephora, Lyra returned to her chambers reflecting on the events of the day. She had learned more than she expected, not just about human adaptability but about determination, courage, and leadership. Humans were remarkable, and she would never underestimate them again. Alex returned to his quarters reviewing the day's data and preparing for the final phase of the experiment. Tomorrow he would demonstrate the long-term endurance of humans, the ability to sustain performance, health, and resilience over extended periods. This would not only prove adaptability, but consistency, intelligence, and cooperation under prolonged stress. The story was nearing its climax. Humans had already demonstrated adaptability, courage, and problem-solving. The final stage would cement the truth. Humans could endure, thrive, and succeed in ways that no one had imagined. The twin moons shone over Zephora, casting light across the station, the volunteers, and the humans who had proven their extraordinary resilience. The stars above watched silently, witnesses to a story of discovery, ingenuity, and the unyielding spirit of a species once doubted but now admired. Alex lay down to rest, thinking of the days ahead. He knew that proving humans could adapt year-round required more than biology. It required showing intelligence, endurance, and unity under pressure. He felt confident. The final stage would be the ultimate demonstration of human capability. Lyra, in her chambers, could not sleep. She replayed the day's events in her mind, amazed at what she had seen. The humans were more resilient, clever, and courageous than she had imagined. Her challenge had revealed a truth that went beyond science. It revealed the essence of humanity itself. Tomorrow would be the final test, the culmination of days of observation, adaptation, and endurance. Zephora would witness the full measure of human resilience, and Princess Lyra would see firsthand that her assumptions had been wrong. For now, though, the night was quiet. The experiment had succeeded in proving human adaptability, intelligence, and teamwork under extreme conditions. The final stage awaited, promising an even greater revelation about a species once underestimated but now undeniably extraordinary. The final day of the experiment dawned on Zephora, with the skies painted in shades of violet and gold. The research station was alive with energy. Volunteers were prepared, equipment checked, and the final phase of testing was about to begin. Today would not only confirm human adaptability, but also demonstrate their ability to sustain performance, resilience, and cooperation over time under changing conditions. Princess Lyra arrived on the observation deck, her silver hair catching the morning light. Her teal eyes were focused, reflecting curiosity, expectation, and a hint of respect. "Captain Alex," she said, her voice calm but commanding, "this is the last stage. Today I expect to see humans demonstrate endurance, intelligence, and adaptability continuously. Can you fulfill this challenge?" Alex straightened, feeling the familiar thrill of responsibility. "Your Highness, humans endure because we must. Today you will witness that we do not just survive, we thrive, even under prolonged stress and changing conditions." The first part of the day involved continuous environmental shifts. Temperature, humidity, light cycles, and oxygen levels fluctuated unpredictably. Volunteers were tasked with maintaining physical performance, monitoring health, and completing strategic problem-solving exercises. Alex guided them through the process with calm authority. Observe, adapt, and act. Plan your movements carefully, communicate clearly, and support one another. Consistency and cooperation are just as important as flexibility. The volunteers adjusted quickly, demonstrating skill, focus, and resilience. Alien assistants struggled to keep up with the changing conditions, but the humans thrived, maintaining energy, coordination, and physiological markers. Lyra watched closely, her curiosity deepening into genuine admiration. During a sudden environmental surge, a spike in temperature and a drop in oxygen, Alex acted decisively. He redirected volunteers to safe zones, adjusted simulated oxygen flow, and managed hydration stations. Within minutes, the team had adapted, continuing their tasks with minimal disruption. Lyra turned to her advisors, her expression serious. The humans do not merely survive, they respond, adapt, and excel. They are extraordinary, Alex explained. Your Highness, humans endure challenges daily, from environmental hazards to unforeseen crises. We thrive because we combine intelligence, cooperation, and willpower with our biology. Adaptation is a continuous process. The next test involved collaborative problem-solving under pressure. Volunteers were presented with a malfunctioning life support system that required immediate repair, while environmental conditions continued to shift unpredictably. Work as a team, Alex instructed. Assign roles, communicate clearly, and remain calm. Use your skills, think creatively, and solve problems efficiently. The human volunteers moved with precision. They analyzed the problem, divided tasks, and improvised solutions using both human knowledge and available alien technology. Within a remarkably short time, the system was fully operational, even as the environmental shifts continued. Lyra's eyes widened. Not only do humans adapt physically, but they demonstrate intelligence and strategic thinking under pressure. They are unlike any species I have observed, Alex nodded. Adaptability is meaningless without the ability to think, communicate, and cooperate. That is why humans can endure and thrive under prolonged stress. As the day progressed, volunteers faced a sequence of increasingly complex scenarios: unstable terrain, simulated storms, energy surges, and mental challenges requiring memory, reasoning, and coordination. Alex led them with calm authority, guiding responses, encouraging teamwork, and ensuring safety. Each challenge reinforced the same truth: humans were capable of maintaining performance, health, and focus across prolonged and unpredictable conditions. Lyra watched, amazed, as human ingenuity and resilience proved consistent and reliable. During a brief break, she approached Alex privately. "Captain," she said thoughtfully, "I have witnessed remarkable adaptability, courage, and intelligence. Yet what drives humans to endure so consistently? Why do you persist when conditions are so harsh?" Alex considered his words carefully. "Your Highness, humans endure because we have purpose. We care for one another. We value survival, and we strive to achieve. Challenges test us, but they also teach us, strengthen us, and reveal what we can accomplish. Our willpower, cooperation, and intelligence work with our biology to sustain performance over time." Lyra nodded slowly, the truth settling in. "It is not merely biology," she said. "It is spirit. Humans combine physical ability, intelligence, and determination in a way that no other species I know can." The final challenge was designed to test endurance over the longest period yet. Volunteers were subjected to a continuous shifting environment that combined extreme temperatures, varying oxygen levels, simulated storms, and mental tasks. The test lasted hours, demanding unwavering focus, stamina, and adaptability. Alex guided his team calmly and efficiently. He monitored performance, suggested adjustments, and encouraged cooperation. The volunteers responded with precision, creativity, and resilience. They solved problems quickly, maintained communication, and adapted continuously, proving that humans could endure far beyond expectations. Lyra observed silently, her skepticism completely gone. She had witnessed the proof firsthand. Humans were not fragile or limited. They were capable of sustained performance, strategic thinking, and cooperation under extreme conditions. She realized that her assumptions had been entirely wrong. When the final task concluded, Alex gathered the volunteers for a debrief. They were exhausted but accomplished, having successfully navigated all challenges. Lyra descended to the central field, walking among the human volunteers. She studied their faces, noting their determination, intelligence, and cooperation. You have exceeded every expectation, she said, her voice filled with admiration. Humans are not only adaptable, they are extraordinary. I doubted your species, but today I have seen the truth. You endure, thrive, and succeed under conditions that would challenge even the most advanced species in my galaxy. Alex bowed slightly. Your Highness, humans are capable because we face challenges constantly. We combine intelligence, cooperation, and willpower with our biology. That is why we thrive year-round even in conditions others find extreme. Lyra smiled, a genuine warmth in her expression. I underestimated humans, she admitted. Your resilience, intelligence, and spirit are beyond what I imagined. You have proven not only adaptability but excellence. The volunteers cheered quietly, proud of their accomplishments. They had not only participated in an experiment, they had demonstrated the essence of humanity. As night fell on Zephora, the twin moons reflected on the crystal lakes, casting a serene light across the landscape. Alex and Lyra stood together on the observation deck, looking out over the planet. The experiment was complete and the proof was undeniable. You have taught me much, Lyra said softly. Not just about human biology, but about courage, intelligence, and determination. Humans are truly remarkable, Alex smiled humbly. Your Highness, it has been an honor to demonstrate the strengths of my species. I hope this experiment shows that humans are more capable than many believe, and that our adaptability is a combination of mind, body, and spirit. Lyra studied him for a moment, then nodded. Indeed, today I have learned that assumptions can be misleading. Humans are capable, resilient, and extraordinary. I will ensure that my people understand the truth about your species. The stars above Zephora shone brightly, witnessing the conclusion of an experiment that had gone beyond science. It had revealed courage, ingenuity, and the unyielding spirit of humanity. Alex and his team had demonstrated that humans could adapt, endure, and excel under any conditions, earning respect and admiration from an alien species that had once doubted them. As the research station quieted for the night, Alex reflected on the days of testing. Humans had proven their resilience not only through biology but through intelligence, cooperation, and determination. The truth was clear. Humans could thrive year-round under conditions that would challenge any species. Lyra returned to her chambers, her mind alive with reflection. She realized that the experiment had changed her perception of humans forever. They were not fragile, limited, or simple. They were remarkable, capable of endurance, problem-solving, and cooperation beyond what she had imagined. The story of this experiment, of humans facing challenges on an alien world, had reached its conclusion. Humans had proven their adaptability, resilience, and intelligence. They had shown that survival was only one part of their strength. Thriving under any conditions, maintaining excellence, and inspiring admiration was the true measure of their species. The twin moons reflected on the crystalline lakes, casting a light on Zephora, the research station, and the humans who had proven their extraordinary capabilities. Stars above bore silent witness to a story of courage, ingenuity, and the unyielding spirit of a species once doubted but now fully respected. Alex looked up at the sky, a quiet satisfaction in his heart. The experiment was complete. Humans had shown their true nature, and Princess Lyra had witnessed it all. A bond of respect, understanding, and admiration had been forged between two very different species, one that would endure long after the experiment ended. Lyra, standing beside him for a final moment, spoke softly. Captain Alex, humans have